Hey everyone, Dominic here with the Raving Hordes Game Club in Saskatoon. This time it's 4,500 point game, Orcs and Goblins versus Warriors of the Dark Gods. The game type was Refused Flank, with Capture the Flags as the secondary. Let's get into this one. Here's a quick look at the table after deployments. What ended up happening is the Warriors of the Dark Gods picked the Orc and Goblins picked sides first. Pick this side, split the table this way, and Warriors of the Dark Gods dropped their army with the intention to go in first. They deployed heavy on the one side, and I've seen him do this a couple times, so I knew that he was just going to try and wrap it so that there's no way that anybody can get around him with there. But for Orc and Goblins, we've got a unit of 7 Common Orc Ed Bashers on boars, I suppose. Beside that, I've got a unit of Common Orc Ed Bashers, Paired Weapons, Full Command, Green Tide Banner. In the center there's a big unit of Iron Orcs. There's 22 of them, Full Command, Green Tide Banner. In that unit is a Iron Orc BSB. He's got the 1+ rerollable save, and a Touch of Greatness sword. Gargantula behind that. There is a Common Orc Shaman Wizard Master back here, Shamanism. He's just got the crystal ball. Then we've got my Common Orc General on a chariot. He's got a 2-up, 5-up save, Troll Ale Flask, and the AP +6 sword. 2 Git launchers in the back. A unit of 24 Cave Goblins with nets and bows, standard musician. Another unit of Common Orcs over here. They've got bows, standard musician, and then we've got a skewer on the far side. For the Warriors of the Dark Gods, he's got a unit of Chosen Knights, a Warrior Chariot. Up front over here, he's got a unit of Warriors with halberds marked with Lust. Behind that, he's got a unit of 10 Chosen. I believe they're Envy, and they have also got halberds. Next to here, another unit of Chosen with Envy, halberds, and another unit of Warriors with halberds and Lust. And then, of course, back here he's got his Exalted. So Warriors took first turn, and that's just kind of what the table looked like before we started. Here's a quick look at my spells. So for the Warriors, turn 1, they just move up, kind of up the table there. Not too much. It goes into Magic. He does Breath of Corruption on his Exalted, and he sacrifices a dude to beef up the range. Then he tries to bring a Wrath of God down my backlines, which I dispel. He does his breath attack against my previously forgot to mention Forest Goblin Raiders. It does all 5 wounds, and they're wiped off the table anyway. So that's what things look like as we go into Orc and Goblins turn 1. So my line kind of moves up. There really isn't too much. It's just sort of a straightforward magic. We try to break the spirit on these warriors back here. Figure there's a fence and there's a field and then there's open if they want to move up. So we try and do Swarm of Insects, which he dispels. And then we try to do, or we got off Awaken the Beast for +1 resilience on those Iron Orcs, which of course got off Scarification. We go into shooting. 1 Git launcher misfires, suffers a wound. The other one just outright misses. The skewer hits but fails to wound. And my bows are out of range actually, so that's what the table looks like as we go into turn 2. So again, the Warriors are moving up. Nothing too crazy there. They go into magic. He does Breath of Corruption again, which I let go off. He tries to bring another Comet back here, or another Wrath of God. I tried to dispel it, but it goes off. And then he goes into his shooting. He does a Breath of Corruption, ranged attack. Again, he had sacrificed, so does it over here, kills off 4 guys. They pass their panic. And that's what the table looks like as we go into Orc and Goblins turn 2. So there's a little bit of moving around here. The Shaman and the Gargantua move from this side. They go over here, kind of support, since now I've got a big hole over there. And my general speeds over here to help with this impending chosen charge. The bow orcs reform to ranks, and we go into magic. We do break the spirit over here for, I believe that one went off. We try and do savage fury over here, which I think also goes off. And then that's the end of the magic phase, and the comet comes down. Really unfortunate. Takes out both Git launchers, takes out most of the back rank of those cave goblins, and nothing to the general, luckily. But now the shooting phase is very weakened. We go into shooting. The skewer fires, misses. The bow orcs fire. I don't think they did anything. And then the cave goblins try and make up for a lack of Git launchers. That's how many wounds they got, astonishingly, against the chosen knights over here. Of course, he armor saved all but one, but that's still one hell of a roll. And there's that single wound. So yeah, that's what the table looks like as we go into Warriors of the Dark Gods turn 3. So the chosen knights charge in, they make it. Nothing else declares a charge, he just continues moving up a little bit. So over here, speeds is exalted in front of the remaining 4 Ed Bashers, kind of chaffing them up for the time being. He goes into magic phase. He tries to do Breath of Corruption, but I stopped that one. And then he did Pentagram of Pain, which caused a single wound to me. Actually, hold on. I don't think that was his turn. Yeah, he tried to do Breath of Corruption. I stopped it. And I forget what other spell he tried to do. I think he tried to bring a Wrath of God down and failed his casting roll. This is shooting. He used his breath attack against me. Only caused 1 wound, actually. Rolled really low. I think he only rolled 3 on the number of hits. So over here, he wipes out the skewer, no problem, and overruns, but just misses it. Like, there's about an inch, probably exactly an inch there. So we go into Orc and Goblins turn 3. I think this is a part where I made a big mistake in this game. So I declare the war cry this turn, and the general charges into those chosen warriors. I wanted the cave goblins in so that they were -1 strength, and I also wanted some ranks potentially. I had anticipated him overrunning into that unit, so the choice was already made for me at one point. But then when this happened, I wasn't quite sure what to do. I think I chose wrong. So all 3 units go in, they all make it. Over here, the common orc Ed Bashers declare a long charge against those warriors, and just the iron orc BSB declares a charge against those chosen up there. The common orcs fail, everything else makes it in. On the far side there, I don't know if I took a picture of it really good, but since he did kill one of my common or my Ed Bashers, they could sneak past him over there, and they just run past. And the Shaman on his boar that was over here left and went over to this unit. The Gargantua sped over to this side. that's pretty much it. We go into magic. We do break the spirit over here, which he dispels. And then we do awaken the beast to give these guys +1 resilience, which goes off. We fight this combat, and like I said, this is where I think I made a mistake, because the chariot does its impact hits. It drops out of combat immediately after doing those 2 wounds, and then his unit beats up on mine. As a side note, I tried to do nets, rolled 1, super fun. So I actually lost combat and managed to stick around. The cave goblins reformed ranks after that as well. We go into this one. I did 2 wounds, I believe. Actually, I did 3 wounds to him. And a charge and a stick. He sticks around because he's steadfast. And that's kind of what the table looks like as we go into turn 4 for the Warriors of the Dark Gods. So the Warriors charge the flank of the BSB. And the Chariot and the other warrior unit charges the front of those cave goblins. Everybody makes it in. His Exalted Herald goes and parks himself in front of my common orcs. He goes into magic phase. This is the time where he did Pentagram of Pain. Caused a few wounds here and there. Nothing too crazy. As you can see, he actually put 1 from the pentagram onto my BSB. And he also tried to do a Wrath of God back here. I believe he put it somewhere over here, which didn't go off. We go into combat. You can see there, the BSB, the Iron Orc BSE, breaks and runs, suffers a DT going through enemy unit, but gets away. He restrained his pursuits on both those units. Over the bottom one there, he already, before even swinging, he already won that combat. So both my units break after taking a beating, both get run down, and the warrior block just chose to pivot on the spot there. So that's what the table looks like as we go into Orc and Goblins turn 4. So for turn 4, the Iron Orcs go into the first warrior block. The Common Orcs up there, the Common Orc Edvashers, sorry, go into his Exalted. The Gargantula goes into the Chariot. These Iron Orcs had originally declared a charge against the warrior block that was here, but because they're lust, they fled. And these guys elected to hold. The BSB rallies this turn. And these guys make a turn to see the flank for whatever it's worth. We go into magic. We do Savage Fury up here. It goes off on those on the Iron Orcs. We do Awaken the Beast to get +1 strength up off here. And that one also goes off. And we try to do Break the Spirit on, I think it was this chosen block here. Just in case things go wrong, I want them to take Dangerous Strains. That one, of course, got dispelled, though. We go into combat. The Gargantula wipes out that chosen chariot, or just the warrior chariot, I suppose, and pivots to face the chosen. Over here, he did 6 wounds to me, and I whiff terribly, and I only did 3 wounds back, even with the buff. I flee. I go 7. He goes 6. It's not looking so good. The other combat up there, he did a bunch of wounds to me, but I did 3 wounds to him, I believe. And, nope, 2 wounds to him. And then he suffered another wound from his break check. That's what the table looks like as we go into turn 5 for Warriors of the Dark Gods. So the Warriors finish chasing down the Iron Orcs. The one chosen unit declares a charge into the flank of my Gargantula. These chosen had actually declared a charge into the flank of these common orcs, but failed. The warriors over here, they rally this turn, and his chosen knights at the far corner just turn to face. Like so. He goes into magic phase. He did a pentagram of pain, and did manage to cause wounds, so he gets a health point back. I guess we fight this combat as well. Things do not go so well. I didn't kill him, surprisingly. It's a lot of attacks at strength 6. He breaks me and catches me. They ran. So we go into this one. He does 5 wounds to me. I did a bunch back. I stick on a stubborn 12, or stubborn 9, sorry. And I think that was pretty much it. So that's what the table looks like as we go into Orc and Goblins turn 5. So at the start of here, the BSB with only 1 wound left declares a foolish charge into the chosen knights because I need some points. The general declares a flank charge over here, and these guys declare a flank charge as well. This is only a 14, this is a 15, this is a 15, and of course the chariot fails. No magic anymore, so we go right into combat. The BSB wins combat. The chosen broke and fled. We caught him. I ran just to the edge of the table. Over here, he only did 1 more wound back to me. He did 3 wounds, but I armor saved 2 of them on 6s, which was great. Got some more points. They broke, chased him down, and over here, he only did 1 wound to me, and I think I got a charge, a flank, and a stick. And all he had was a wound and a stick, so he was down by 1, but he stuck. His turn 6. The warriors come into the flank of that boar boy. Is exalted, comes up here right in front of the lines, hoping to pull off the last wound off that gargantula. Goes into magic. He does the pentagram of pain, which I let go off. Both of those guys are toughness 6. He didn't cause a single wound to the spider, didn't cause a wound to my chariot, didn't cause a wound to his warrior block, but did put a wound on the chosen, which of course gave him that 1 wound back that I worked so hard for. So he's back down to 3 instead of 4. And that's pretty much it. We go into turn 6 for Orc and Goblins. So the chosen chariot, or the Orc chariot goes into the chosen warriors. The gargantula just pivots to face. We try and do some lucky shooting at that exalted. Hit a couple times, but failed to wound. Over here, my chariot takes 2 wounds and kills a bunch in return, but he passes his break check on a 4. So, again, denying me points because there is 6 wounds left on that unit, so they're above 25, or they're 25% exactly, which I think we got to be below 25% to at least get half points for them. And that's the end of the game over here. So all I had left was my BSB with 1 wound hiding off the screen, the gargantula with 1 wound, and the chariot with 2 wounds on him. And yeah, did up the points. It was a 16-4 for the Warriors of the Dark Gods, and he did capture the secondary because he took 5 to my 2 for scoring units. So it was a good game. I had some really, really terrible luck throughout the game, dice roll-wise, which happens occasionally, but it's never too fun when it does. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Stay tuned for the next one.